The King of Kings, the one-man apocalypse, the predator who haunts MotoGP paddocks with a grin and a throttle. Buckle up. You're stepping into hell, and Marcmarquez is the devil behind the handlebar. The butcher of MotoGP, the gangster who smiles after slaughter. All right, Buttercup, put that fairy tale book down. This isn't a story, it's a warning. This is about Marcmarquez, the one-man firing squad, the architect of destruction, the king who holds the championship by its neck, not for glory, but for sport. This man doesn't race to win. He races to destroy, to annihilate, to rewrite the limits of fear. And then he walks into the paddock like nothing happened, shaking hands, cracking jokes, laughing like the blood on his leathers is just part of the show. You call it arrogance? Nah. That's absolute domination. Chapter 1. The Street Dawn of Speed. There's talent, then there's obsession. And then there's Marcmarquez, a different breed altogether, the OG gangster of MotoGP. He doesn't come from a bloodline of royalty. He built his throne with broken bones, smashed fairings, and savage late break moves that make grown men question their careers. Where others see corners, Marc sees vulnerabilities. Where others see limits, he smells blood. This is the guy who says, "I wasn't the fastest today," after blowing the field to bits. That's not humility. That's psychological warfare. He wants you to believe he's mortal, until you try to pass him on turn 9 and he disappears like a ghost, already halfway around the next sector. His track record isn't a list, it's a graveyard. One look at it and you'll see legends that came, tried, and got buried alive by the Cervera assassin. Chapter 2, The Switch. When that visor comes down, the demon wakes up. People don't get it. They think this is just racing. Some think it's about the bike, about corner speed, lap times. Cute. Marcmarquez doesn't race the lap. He races you. When the red lights go out, hell is unleashed. You're not battling for a podium. You're trying to survive turn 1. That's where it begins, where the bloodbath starts. Marc doesn't take positions, he rips them away. And when he goes for a pass, it's not to move up the order, it's to cripple your confidence for life. There's no room for mercy, no time for courtesy. The gloves come off and the teeth come out. You want a clean battle? Go race a simulator. You want to survive a duel with Marc? Bring armor and prayers. Chapter 3, Assen. The slaughter behind the smile. Let's talk about Assen, the cathedral of speed, a place where riders go to dance with fate, to whisper to the gods for a clean weekend. But Marc, he came for vengeance. Friday crash, broken ribs, mangled ego. Any mortal would have packed it up and called it damage limitation, but not Marc. I said I cannot ride. Then he won the sprint. He limped off the bike with a grin like he just pranked the devil himself. That's Marc's twisted humor, telling the world he's done and then using your doubt as gasoline. Sunday came. The grid lined up. The paddock whispered. Marcmarquez, bruised and bloodied, put on a performance that belonged in a Tarantino script. Sharp, violent, artistic carnage served at 300 kilometers per hour. His lines were carved in steel. His entry speeds were surgical. He didn't race. He hunted. Lap after lap, he didn't pull away. He ghosted them. His rivals were chasing smoke, shadows, illusions of hope, and the best part? That smile, that killer grin, that silent sentence. You were finished before this even began. Chapter 4, The Prankster in Public, the Demon on Track. Here's the paradox that makes Marquez more terrifying than a ballistic missile. He's normal off track, almost too normal. You see him walk into the paddock, goofy grin, cracking jokes with rivals. You'd never guess that hours later he'll be putting those same men in therapy. He'll compliment your pace. He'll talk about confidence building. He'll tell you, "I'm not 100% yet." Then boom, race day hits and your lap times are suddenly 2 seconds slower and Marc's already halfway to the podium interview. That self-doubt, it's bait. It's part of his grand con. It's Marcmarquez doing what he does best, controlling the game before it even starts. While the rest of the grid is staring at data, Marc's feeding them fairy tales. He'll tell the world he's not confident, then drop sector times that look like he's negotiating with the laws of physics. And that's his real power. Not just the throttle, not just the brakes, but the ability to make you believe you've got a chance until the lights go out. Then it's already over. Chapter 5. The look that kills. You ever seen it? That post-race look? That I warned you smile? He doesn't scream. He doesn't gloat. He just gives you the look. That quiet, lethal smirk that says, you tried, you failed, now go home. You can't teach that. You can't replicate that. That's the look of a man who's made pain his profession, speed his dialect, and destruction his signature. When that smile appears, it means someone just got psychologically executed. Chapter 6. The Kingdom, Sachsenring. Let's talk about what's coming. Let's talk about Sachsenring. Forget kingdom. This is sacred ground, holy turf. Marcmarquez doesn't ride here. He rules. Turn 7, that's the execution zone. Lap 1, that's the declaration of war. The grid will form. Tension will rise. But by turn 7, there's a 99% chance he'll ghost them. You'll see it, clear as day. He'll disappear through that fast left section like a jet slicing clouds. And by the time they hit lap 2, the others will be swapping nervous glances, already in survival mode. By lap 25, Marc crosses the checkered flag. And the rest? They're still out there, starting their final lap, pretending it was a bit difficult while gasping for breath. And Marc, he strolls to the press, leans into the mic, and says, yeah, it was okay. Bit tricky. Bro just turned Sachsenring into a solo time trial and says it like he struggled. And then, that laugh, that giggle, that look. You're done. You were done before ages. Chapter 7. The wounds, the wisdom. The warrior, Marcmarquez, is not made of flesh and bone. He's made of trauma, tempered in the fire of comeback. People talk about crashes like it's a badge. Marc wears them like armor. Dislocated shoulder, he raced. Fractured humerus, he came back and still chased wins. Doubts? Please. His body may break, but his will never does. He has no fear because he's already faced it, beaten it, mocked it. That's what makes him the most dangerous human on a MotoGP grid. Chapter 8. The ghost you can't chase. You want to chase Marcmarquez? Here's your warning. He doesn't ride with you. He doesn't battle you. He creates a race you can't see. By the time you're trying to match his pace, he's already adjusted his settings and upped the tempo. By the time you're closing the gap, he's saved tire, battery, and patience just for this moment. And when you think you've got him, he pulls a lap from hell, sector records, perfect lines, no mistakes. And you're done. Final chapter, the crown stays sharp. He's coming to Sachsenring, not to race, not to battle, but to erase the competition. And he'll do it with a killer grin, bruised ribs, a brutal race pace, and the precision of a surgeon with a grudge. So remember this when Sunday comes. And next round, it's his kingdom Sachsenring. It's 1% chance that he will have fight with second position. There is 99% of chance that he will ghost them in turn 7 on lap 1. He will finish checkered flag in a gap that others will start their final lap and come to us telling it was a bit difficult. Marc, man, we know you. This isn't just Marcmarquez. This is a reign of terror on 2 wheels. Dressed in red and black, crowned not by the championship, but by the fear in every other rider's eyes. And it's just the beginning.